Over 1 million Americans lost their jobs last year. 300,000 federal workers gone overnight. And the people who still have jobs, over half of them have nothing saved for retirement. Zero. The ones who are saving, the median is $185,000. The experts say you need 1.26 million. So let me get this straight. You can't keep your job, you can't afford to retire, and everything, housing, healthcare, groceries, costs more every single year. Something is breaking, and people are starting to figure out that the answer isn't in America. I've spent 20 years living overseas, and I'm going to show you what hundreds of thousands of Americans have already figured out, and why the smartest financial move you can make in 2026 might be leaving. Let's start with what everyone already knows, but nobody wants to say out loud. The American retirement model is broken. Over half of U.S. households report having zero dedicated retirement savings. None. And the people who are saving, they're not saving enough. The median 401k balance for people in their 50s is around $629,000. Sounds decent until you realize the average American household spends over $77,000 a year just on basic expenses. Do the math. That's roughly 8 years of expenses. 8 years. Then what? And this is happening while over 1 million jobs were cut in 2025 alone. 300,000 federal workers gone. Tech layoffs stacking up month after month. People who thought they had 10 more working years suddenly have 0. So we've got a country full of people who can't afford to retire, can't guarantee they'll keep working, and are watching their costs go up every single year. That's the setup. Now here's where it gets interesting. Every retirement calculator you've ever used asks the same questions. How much do you have saved? What's your expected return? When do you want to retire? How much will you spend per year? That last one, how much will you spend, is where the whole thing falls apart, because every single calculator assumes you're staying put. Same country, same cost structure, same system. But what if you didn't? The average American retiree spends about $5,000 a month. In a place like Portugal's Algarve region, that number drops to around $3,000. In Vietnam, it drops to under $1,500. In Albania, a country most Americans couldn't point to on a map, you're looking at around $1,000 a month. For a lifestyle that would cost you 4 or 5 times that in the States. That's not a small difference. That's the difference between I can't retire and I could have retired 5 years ago. This is what people in the finance world call geographic arbitrage, and it's not some internet fantasy. Over 460,000 Americans are already collecting Social Security checks overseas. That number has jumped almost 20% in the last decade. This is a real trend, and it's accelerating. Let me show you what this actually looks like with real numbers. Say you're 55 and you've got 300,000 saved. In the US, using the standard 4% rule, that gives you $12,000 a year, $1,000 a month. You're not retiring on that, not even close. You'd need to keep working another decade, minimum, and hope nothing goes wrong. Now, take that same 300,000 to a place like Romania. Beautiful country, solid internet, good healthcare system, European Union member. Your $1,000 a month? That covers rent, food, utilities, transportation, and you've still got money left over for travel. You're not just surviving, you're actually living. Or take it to Vietnam. Incredible food, growing expat community, modern cities. $1,000 a month puts you in a nice apartment with air conditioning, eating fresh meals every day, with money to spare. The money didn't change. You didn't save a single extra dollar. The only thing that changed was the location. And suddenly, the math works. That's the reframe. That's the thing nobody tells you. The retirement crisis isn't just a savings problem, it's a geography problem. And by the way, this isn't only about retirement. Right now, there are hundreds of thousands of Americans who just lost their jobs. Federal workers, tech workers, people in their 30s and 40s who suddenly need to make their savings stretch while they figure out what's next. If you've got a severance package or 6 months of savings, and you're sitting in Austin or Denver or DC watching it drain at $4,000 or $5,000 a month, you've got maybe 4 months of runway before things get scary. Take that same money to Tbilisi, Georgia, or Da Nang, Vietnam, or Tirana, Albania. Your 4 months becomes 12 months, maybe 18. That's not running away from your problems. That's buying yourself time. Time to think, time to retrain, time to figure out the next move without the pressure of watching your bank account hit zero. Geographic arbitrage isn't just a retirement strategy. It's a financial survival strategy. And in 2026, more people need to hear that than ever. Now, I need to be honest with you because this is the part that every other channel skips. I've been living overseas for 20 years this month actually, and it has been incredible in a lot of ways. I've built a life I genuinely love. I've seen things and experienced things that I never would have if I'd stayed home. But I also lost my father while I was thousands of miles away. Then my sister. Two of the most important people in my life gone, and I was on the other side of the world for all of it. The most time I've spent in the States in the last 20 years was 2.5 months. One time in 2 decades. I'm not telling you this to scare you off. I'm telling you because if you're going to make this decision, whether it's for retirement or because you lost your job or because you just want a different kind of life, you need to go in with your eyes open. The money part is easy. You can look up cost of living data all day long, but there's a cost that doesn't show up on any spreadsheet. Birthdays you miss, holidays over a video call, the phone ringing at 2 a.m. and knowing before you even answer that something happened back home. This is the real price of geographic arbitrage, and you deserve to know that before you buy the ticket. So, is it worth it? For me, yes, even with everything I just told you, because the alternative was staying in a system that wasn't built for people like me, working until 67, hoping my savings held out, living paycheck to paycheck in a country where housing costs more every year and healthcare can bankrupt you overnight. But that's my answer. Yours might be different. What I can tell you is this: the option exists, and most people don't even know about it. They're sitting there staring at a retirement calculator, feeling hopeless, when the answer might not be save more. It might be spend it somewhere else. Over 117 million Americans say they'd like to live in another country someday. 1/3 of the country. The desire is there. Most people just don't realize how achievable it actually is. If this video changed how you think about your future, drop a comment and tell me what country you'd consider. I read every single one. And if you want the actual breakdown of specific countries where your money goes furthest, I've already made videos on that. The links are right here. Hit subscribe if you want more honest takes on living abroad and making your money work harder. No hype, no BS, just real talk from someone who's actually been doing this for 20 years. I'll see you in the next one. And one more thing. As of April, I'm joining this story myself. After 9 years, my position is ending, and I'm using everything I just told you in this video. So if you want to see how geographic arbitrage actually plays out in real time with real numbers from someone going through it right now, stick around.